Hey, book besties. This is Nicole from BookedandBizzie. I'm your host for today's podcast. We will be talking to authors, editors, narrators, and readers about the books that we love to discuss. So sit back, tune in, and enjoy. Happy reading.
Morning. All right. So if y'all don't know, this lady next to me is my book bestie, my ride or die, one of my travel buddies. This woman right here, we connected so well over books.
Yep.
We travel well together. We both have a problem. Derelle.
I don't have no problems.
We have a problem with buying books. Now, if y'all ever know Derelle, which is our guest of honor today, you know that she buys just as many books as I do.
I just don't see it as a problem. That's the issue.
So, welcome to the Booked and Busy podcast, my love.
Back to be in the building again.
Funny. So, I'll tell you guys a quick story time. So, Derelle and I were at the 4Bs, Monica Walters event. It was a lot of authors there. And I know that we went to Jacquel's line. And we're standing in line, and on the way to Jacquel's line is right here is India T. Norfleet. Across from India is Mel Dow. Right in front of, so it goes like a square. So right in that corner is Alexandria House. And we're on our way to go pick up our books from Jacquel because we know this line is long and we just want to get it out the way. We standing in line, so you know me, I'm a multitasker. So in here right here, let me go grab all the books. Mel Dow's over here, let me go grab all my mega books. And so I'm shopping. Derelle's she's peaceful because she done pre-ordered everything. I'm not a pre-orderer. But we get to Alexandria House. We get to her thing, and she has one book. What book was that? The no, was it the Omnibus book or was it the
She had one omnibus book left.
Yes. She had one book left. And I promise you, Alexandria House is one of my most favorite authors.
No. She had one set of the brothers. That's what you wanted. You wanted the brother set.
No, that's what it was.
Yeah, but it wasn't an omnibus. It was all 5 of the books, but she only had one set.
No. Oh, that was the McLeans.
Yeah, the McLeans. I bought the omnibus though.
Yeah, so it was the McLeans. And y'all know Big South is my guy. So, you know I can't say the word. So we got there and I pitched a whole fit. And Derelle said, you can have it. I was like, you know what? I am being so selfish. I done bought 80,000 books already. And so I was like, no, you can have it. She was like, no, you can have it. So I purchased the books, and then so I ended up sending you those books, though, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
And then we went to Jacquel's line. So Derelle had the biggest order. Right?
Yeah, I did.
My husband was like, wait a minute. You ordered all them damn books. And Jacquel jumped in real quick. She said, not too much on that one. Not too much on that one. Okay? Stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we had the best time in Dallas. We had the best time at the Melanin Ball in Tulsa. We just had the best time. We instantly clicked. If y'all don't know, we're part of the same book club, Books We Love to Discuss. And we just instantly click. We like the same type of books, even though she does the fantasy and the paranormal, and I like it a little bit, but she in it. But we both have the same taste when it comes to the urban fiction and the urban romance and the street life.
Oh yeah, we do. We in the streets. By which I've just finished at the beginning of the month, me and Jazz, we Buddy read Phantom's book from Latoya Nicole, and oh my gosh, that book was so good. Like I read all 3 books in one day. Like I could not stop reading it. It was so good. It was so
But
good.
I told you, now you see why he's my favorite character.
Yes, absolutely.
He is my favorite character. Okay, so Derelle, let's ask you a few questions because I want to know, inquiring minds want to know, how did you fall in love with reading?
My mother taught me how to read. She's the one that really gave me that love for reading. My mom passed when I was like 11, 9, no, I'm sorry, when I was 9 years old, she passed away from cancer. And it was something that we connected on, something that I always had. But my father is also a big reader as well. So when I was, I always carried that love for reading. But once I got into high school, my dad was in college and he was always going to Borders to meet with his study groups. And he was like, I remember one day he was like, nah, 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 nah. I'm not going to be going to do studying at the bookstore and leave y'all at home every day. No, y'all gonna come get your stuff. Let's go. Y'all gonna get a book. Everybody's gonna find a book and we're gonna read it. I mean, I always had the love for reading, but the love for, going to the bookstore and getting books, and that really just carried on with me because both of my parents were big readers. We talk about my book collection. My dad has a massive book collection. That's why when he come in here and he look at these books, he don't say now word because he already know that I'll be like, look at your house, sir. Right. That's where I kind of got it from. My parents, both of them are readers.
I love that. Do you have a favorite genre that you prefer over others? And if so, rate what the genres that you like from beginning to 1 to 5.
Well, once I got back into reading, because I went to college and I didn't read as much because I was studying all the time. But once I got back into reading and I ended up back on Book Talk and I got on Black Book Talk, my favorite is urban street lit, urban romance, urban street lit. I want to be in the streets all the time. But right after that, I would say would be the fantasy and the paranormal because, I always loved that stuff when I was growing up, but we never had that, for Black girls. We had Jacob and, well, I was an adult when they came out with Twilight, but Twilight would probably be the closest, but I didn't have that for me. I never even felt truly connected to the stories because we didn't have that. Now that we have Black fantasy and Black paranormal, now I'm like, that would be my second. Then I would hit the contemporary sci-fi. I love it all, really. I'm not a there isn't anything I won't read.
What are your what are the things that you won't read? What would stop you? What would make you DNF?
DNF a book? Unnecessary sexual assault on a page. And racism, like, some of the stuff that we see on the other side. I won't read an IR book if I feel like the character, it just, there's some things with IR that I don't like, but I will read IR more now than I did before. I would say the last time we had this conversation, or the last time I was on here, I was like, no IR. Now I'm like, I can read IR. It just depends on who's writing it. I mean, there isn't a lot that I won't read, but I think the things that I won't read is probably things that most people won't read. Nobody wants to read, unnecessary sexual assault of a child on a book, or, just wildly inappropriate things,
Right.
is probably it. But for the most part, I read whatever, and I don't read a lot of trigger warnings, to be honest. Because I come from a school, like when I was growing up, we didn't have trigger warnings. You just read the book, and that's just kind of how I am now, is I just read the book. Now, if I see something a little crazy, I'll go back to the front. I'm like, is there a trigger warning? Did she tell me about this beforehand? But I just read the book. You know what I mean?
Do you read author's notes?
Sometimes I really like to, what I say, raw dog the book. I want to go in with no perceived notions of what is going to happen in the book. I just want to be surprised. It just really depends. If it's an author that I am used to, no, I don't read them. Maybe not until like maybe after the book. Um, but if it's an author that I don't know, I probably will read it just to kind of get an idea of what to expect.
I feel like it depends on who the author is, and how well I know that author, if I'm going to read their author note or not. Like certain authors, I'm reading the author note because first of all, you're gonna get your whole life in that author note because they don't have good sense.
Bonnie Bronco's one of them.
Yes, I love her author's notes. I do. I love a good author's note. If AA, I love a good author note. Latoya, I love her author's note. First of all, when she greets you is hey favorite bald heads.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm there for all the shenanigans. So I like a good author's note. So if I know the author and I'll go back and read the author's note if I raw dog the book. I hate to say raw dog, but if I just go into it blindly, I will go and read the book. I mean, read the author's note, but I do read it. I just may not read it in order.
Yeah, same with me. I don't typically, I don't make it an effort to read the author's note unless, like I said, if it's a new to me authors, to kind of get an idea, like a warning. But like I said, I like to go with, I feel like when I look back on the moments when I read a book and I just enjoyed those books, it's when I went completely blind, had no idea what I was getting beforehand.
Right.
And I get to sit back and be so surprised throughout the whole book. That's why sometimes I don't like it when we be talking about the book beforehand, because then I miss out on that element of surprise, that they have. But yeah, I'll go back and read it now. Like I said, I have read some very good author's notes.
So let's get to the shenanigans. Who is your book boyfriend, husband? Who's your best friend? Who you smashing? And who you unaliving?
Unaliving? I got to unalive
What
one?
character that you hate the most that you just wish you were unalive?
Okay, I got it. Okay, so my book boyfriend would be they come together. It's two of them. They come together. I would say my book boyfriend is Henny and Fax from Product of the Streets. And since we are in a contract, I have to put both of them together. My book husband is Samson from Black Gold Valley from Dandridge to Monroe.
Yeah.
That's the man I'm taking home to see my daddy. Okay, yeah. That man right there, that's my man. Who I would smash, there's so many, but if I'm going to choose one, I would have to say Kwasim. Kwasim, I would smash Kwasim for sure. Uh, and then who am I unaliving? It would be that awful Anna Marie that cut Samson's hair, had him cut his hair in Black Gold Valley. Yeah, she's got to go. Every time I think about that woman, she was racist. She had my man cut his hair. She was awful. She practically brought ice to his house. Yeah, she got to go. She got to go. Every time me and Dandridge talk about it, I just want to know when hands and feet are going to happen.
And so, who? If you were in trouble, who would you call to pull up?
Facts. Cause he ain't gonna stop until he get him. He will not rest until he is gone. That's who I'm calling.
Facts. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who would be your book best friend? Who would be your best friend?
In any of the books, my book best friend, I would say, would probably be Harper from Sharice's book, Countdown to His Love, because Harper will put hands and feet on anybody. She be ready. She be ready.
I got a new book best friend, and I think I just read Bentley by Connie Easton. I think Heidi would be one of my best friends, but I think my best friend would be Poppy from The Hood Flower Girl, because
Yeah.
she was
Oh,
like
that's another
either
one.
she was fiercely loyal.
My good sis was like, oh my gosh. She did not even
Poppy
stop.
was that what? Poppy will pop your ass, okay? She will
Listen,
be my.
Fred was ready. Poppy is a good one. That is another good one. She
But
did
who
not
I'm
play it.
smashing? Oh, I gotta do Smash Buddy.
Oh no,
His name
who?
is Mace. Listen, Mace from Shit Down Motherfucker by A.A. Lewis.
I haven't read it yet. I need to read that. I wanted. My goal is to make sure I have it read before I
Darrell.
see her. I got to read that one.
Darrell. You gotta read it. Like
Yeah.
immediately.
Oh, so
No.
tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm reading it. Okay,
Yes.
got
Like
you.
in one sitting.
It was
You're not gonna
sitting.
be able to put it down. Yes,
You
yes,
got it,
yes.
man.
Yes.
I'm on it. And AA already know I'll slide in them DMs about her book.
Look, don't look at none of my videos, even though my videos ain't circulating TikTok. I said that in the camera.
Mhm.
Okay. Who are your Mount Rushmore of authors?
There's so, you know what? We've been having this conversation last night. I read the most I've ever read in 1 year last year. I read 368 books last year.
Good for
I was
you.
I was just like, I read so many really good books by really good authors. But if I had to tell you, and oh my gosh, and how many people are on Mount Five?
4.
There's 4. Oh, good. E. Bowser, for sure. Um, Sharice, Sharice C. Carr, for sure. I'm not talking to you, Scary. Stop this.
Okay.
So I said E. Bowser, Sharice. I'm gonna put Dandridge Monroe on there because I love everything that I've read by her. And um wow, there's so many great ones. Um
More. I mean, you got opportunities to put them somewhere else, so you got
yeah,
other opportunities.
if I had to put one more, then I would have to say Jatoria C because the way I laugh at her books and they have just taken me away like to another place. I get off work and I could just get in one of any of those ladies' books and I am completely in a different space. I love them. All 4 of them are great. And I mean, and it's a rolling thing. It changes because we have so many really great authors that we have accessible to us, that talk to us and that we get to see and get to create these relationships with. I mean, there's just so many, but those 4 would be the ones that, especially because you said I can mention other people later.
Exactly. So, what I got this question from Storm yesterday. So I stole it, y'all. I stole some questions, people.
I'll take them.
So, how do I describe your using your senses?
Mm-hmm.
Describe your how do I say it? Hold on one second. Let me just go scroll to the end because I have the question. I'm trying to say it in a way that is uh advantageous to you. Um Using your senses, describe your reading taste using hearing, smell, touch, taste, and sight.
Okay. I like to hear bang bang shoot 'em up. I like that. Hmm. I like to smell expensive man cologne. I like to see dark chocolate men. Um, I have expensive tastes, so I want them rich. And I like to feel goosebumps because I want to be on the edge of my seat all the time
Wait,
with
wait.
my
Come
reading.
on, young girl. Come on. I like it.
That was a good question. You might have
Right?
to keep that one.
Listen, I stole that from Storm. I stole it from Storm for the people that did not hear me before.
Shout out the
And I done said
store
it
with the
17
great
times.
question. Hey,
Um,
Natalie. Hey.
so I stole this from the Ashley Antoinette interview, and I felt like they were such good questions.
Mm-hmm.
Which character would you want to slide in your DMs?
Samson.
What
Yeah.
would he say?
Hopefully he's trying to get me to marry him.
I love that. Which character would you want advice from?
Oh, that's a good question. Advice from. I'm trying to think of a female character that would give me good advice. Um,
It wouldn't be
because
Harper or Hill or Broomhill.
no, it would not be Harper or Brunhilde. If honestly though, if we were choosing a Charisse character, it would be Dr. Strawberry because she stayed 10 steps ahead of everybody.
Listen, I don't know if I want advice from her because she was doing the most, but she was telling the truth.
She was telling the truth. I would say also I did another character that I really enjoyed was Clue from Law from Great Huffington because I just liked how she stood on big business with him. Like she was just like she had her own thing. She was not even concerned about that man. You know what I mean? She was so confident in herself. I love that about her as a character.
Okay, I forgot about Clue, but Clue did stand on business. She wasn't playing
Yeah.
either.
I actually liked Clue more than I liked the MMC. Like I liked Law. I thought he was a
love
solid
Law.
character. Yeah, I really liked him, but I liked Clue more than I liked him because she was just like, nope, not messing with you.
Okay. Uh, what song, movie, or TV show represents your reading taste?
Mm, if it if my reading taste was a movie, it would probably be um mm, it'd have to be a mix of movies. Like it would have to be, and I can't think if there is a movie that has all of it in one, but I would say it'd probably be a mix of like Belly and like Friday, because I want a movie that's gonna give me all the bang bang shoot 'em up with a little romance, but also I want a book that's gonna make me laugh. I love that too. Now, if I was thinking of a television show, I would probably say Power. I would say Power would be more of my speed. And
I
then
don't
if
know. know what's wrong with my computer, but it's acting very weird. So please excuse the technical sounds. Okay. What character do you feel was misunderstood? I got that from Ashley Anson's live yesterday too. So everybody don't know I'm stealing. I stole them questions. Yes.
Misunderstood. Hmm. I- Misunderstood. uh, Let me think. Who is misunderstood? I would say Ocean. Oh no! I know who is misunderstood. Not Ocean. It's still a Siobhan Latrice character though. Tony Wacko. Tony is so misunderstood. You know, he okay, all right. Tony. Tony's mouth is reckless, okay? However, however, I was having this conversation with the girls. But at the end of the day, he was the one that made the most sense out of all of the people, like all of his friends and all of the people. He was most solid, even though he was, he was crazy or whatever. He still was focused, and I really like what he did throughout, like how the person he became throughout the books. So I think that Tony Wacko is very misunderstood. I'm in her reading group, and sometimes I see what people have to say after they read him. You know what I mean? They like him, but his mouth. But he really is reckless, but he really is a solid person at the end of the day, you know?
What character is most like you?
Tolly. Tolly's most like me. I don't never know what's going on. I mean, I do, but I don't. Like, wait, what? What are we doing?
Are you down for whatever? Because she down for whatever.
I think that she always wants that, but she kind of present like she doesn't want to be the one to suggest it. You know what I mean? And I am, for the most part, down for whatever in a lot of situations.
Okay. Okay. We learned a lot about you, Derelle. um, do you have a favorite character?
I know that I do. Let me think. Who would be my favorite? There's so many ones that really resonate with me. Um, and it could be male character or female character, right? Um, if I had a favorite character, it would be, I got to go through my whole 360 books I read last year. Let me see. A character that I would be my favorite. I would have to say my favorite character would be Crescent from Product of the Streets. I liked how her story really, like, how it unfolded, the things that we learned about her throughout that whole series. She was my favorite character. Even though I feel like I'm a little bit closer to Tally, I'm a little bit more reserved than Crescent is. I would say Crescent is my favorite character. I would have to say the reason why I keep choosing those characters from those books is because I truly feel like Product of the Streets is my adult Harry Potter. Like, I love Harry Potter, but when I think of like a series that I just like, I love everything about, I want all the stuff that comes with it, it's Product of the Streets. Yeah.
If you could do what do you call it when you match people together? If you could
Be like a matchmaker.
a matchmaker, I can't think. If you could be a matchmaker, what characters would you put together
Put together
out of anybody's catalog?
out of anybody's catalog. If I could put characters together, I would put Ocean with Dr. No, I would put Navy from Jatoria C's Brasi family with Dr. Strawberry. I would put them together
Diabolical.
because that man is crazy, but so is she.
Diabolical.
He deserve it. Yeah, he deserve it.
Diabolical. Okay. What book feels most like you?
Feels like me?
Represents your life. Like what book is most like you? What that embodies your life?
Well, none of them books embody my life. Oh, you know what book though? I will tell you this much though. There's a book by Casey Mills. It's called Loyal by Default. And it's one of my favorites because the main female character, she is a registrar at the hospital. And that's what I did for 15 years. And my sister would always laugh and joke and be like, nobody's talking about the girl with the clipboard.
I'm
But
hot.
now but that book right there, I love that book. That would be like because she's just an everyday person going to work, doing her job, coming home, that kind of thing. I would say that she and her which probably would be a better answer. Well, no, you said my life, not who I am. Yeah, book would be more like me. My life, I would say, because of her everyday life was just going to work and coming home and just working at the hospital, that kind of thing.
What three things do you have to create the perfect reading environment?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so I need a good place to sit, my good snacks, my good snacks, and I need the right lighting. And the right lighting for me is right when it's about to rain. So when it gets like overcast outside, like the best times are during those times when I'm reading. That's the best thing. But if I'm creating my own, I would just turn this light off and have the book reading to me right now. It's a Saturday. No one's asking anything of me, that kind of thing.
I'm
But
sorry for the interference, y'all, but I don't know how to fix it. So I'm sorry.
it's okay. Like for me, I'm good.
Okay. Um, what would people be shocked? What would people be shocked to know about you?
Hmm. You're talking about like the book talk world?
Anything
Oh,
at all.
but I'm saying the people in the book talk world, what they would be shocked about,
Well, just
or
people,
in
period.
general.
What would people be shocked to know about you?
Mm, they'd probably be shocked to find the books that are in my Kindle. Because they'd be like, "You're reading what?"
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't realize. I mean, well, I won't say that. If you meet me, you know these things about me. But uh, what people think that people know that I'm a Christian. They know that I'm a PK kid. So they think that because you're a Christian that you live this like holier than thou lifestyle, or you feel that way about yourself. And I don't feel that way about myself. So I think that people would be surprised at my taste in reading and what I would like to read. I read some wild stuff now. I think I think once people start to find out, my reading taste, they're like, "Oh, okay."
Describe yourself in one word.
Um uh I would say I am giving, very giving.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's an attribute that
Yeah.
you have, but describing you in one word, um, for me, because I know you,
Yes.
um, you're. I can't. That's not one word. Easygoing.
Yeah. I try to be. I try to be easygoing. I like I like for the people around me to feel comfortable as well, especially when we are in certain situations, because I understand that some people don't know how to break out of their shell, they don't have that. And I just want people, to be able to be free to be themselves, around me.
So there's always been a lot of talk about struggle love in Black books. What is your idea of Black romance? What are the characteristics? What do you feel like it is when it comes to books?
I think Black romance is two Black people loving each other, in whatever aspect that means. I mean, I don't think that I think that in books we have for sure seen Black romance in all different categories. We've seen it in, the Black romance could be two Black fays loving each other. Black romance can be two contemporary people who are working class people. We can see two executives. We can see a cowboy romance, but they're all of them are Black, and they all contribute to our culture in some type of way. So that's what I think Black romance is. I don't think it has to be defined into it's love, but it's two Black people loving each other.
Okay. What is your idea of beauty? And let me tell you why I'm asking this. A lot of people mimic Black women. Mm-hmm. But I find sometimes I'm not saying all authors, please don't vilify me, but there's a few authors that create one specific type of character, mm-hmm. and she looks a specific way in all the books. Right. What is your idea of beauty, just so that we all know?
Well, to me, beauty is from within. You know what I mean? It really is. You can have a standard look and still be an awful person. And to me, you would look awful. I would never say that you were beautiful because you don't have that within. But I don't think there's any standard to it. If we're talking about Black women and the way they're written, as far as their looks in books, I love to read books that have various shades and sizes and statures of women in those books, because that we as Black people, we come in so many different colors and shapes and sizes. I could read a book where the character is athletic, that's more like a Simone Biles, or I could read a book that's like Lizzo, you know what I'm saying? Or like, Nicki Minaj. Well, I shouldn't say Nicki Minaj. I should say Cardi B or some, I like to read books with different, shapes and sizes, but I also wonder if a lot of the writers or the authors, when they write their books, if they're writing from a place where it's comfortable to them, what they deem as beautiful. I can imagine that all of them are beautiful. I just prefer to have more of a variety, because we as Black women, we come in different varieties. There's, women that are like Naomi Campbell, very, slim, but then there's women that are thick. I just like to have a variety of them, because every one of us deserves to have a story written about us, and we're getting loved on, by anyone, I guess you should say.
What is the perfect male character for you?
Samson. Samson's
perfect. So that's for everybody who doesn't know, but Samson.
Samson is perfection, okay? He is.
Describe Samson.
Samson is a God-fearing man, okay? He been a virgin until he's 40 years old, okay? He is loving. He is the man that I can take home to my daddy. He got all his stuff. You know, he is an entrepreneur. He's a good man. He is a good man, Savannah, but not that man. You know, not Savannah's man. He is the man that I would take home to my dad and say, "This is the man that is going to take me." That's my man. There's another character that's kind of like Samson. His name is Noah. It's from the Blueprint from by Thielen. Oh, I love Noah too. Noah was a prison bae. He was a prison bae, but he was a God-fearing man too. So if he's a good God-fearing man, long hair, rides horses, has a ranch, he could retire me. I could take care of him. He'd take care of me. That's the man. He ain't never been with nobody. Yes. Well, listen, Sharmy, we are definitely sister wives, and so are we, Dion. Samson is my ideal man. That is, like I said, I am not lying when I say that's the man that I could take home to my father and be proud.
So let's switch gears just a bit, and we'll probably come back to some of those type of questions. Let's talk about AI in books. What is acceptable for you? Like, clearly not writing the whole story with AI.
Right.
I feel like you can tell when it's AI, but are visuals okay? Are covers okay? What's acceptable AI?
Well, I think
For you.
it really, I mean, for me, I don't have a problem with people using editing tools as AI, you know, because I never really considered, those to be AI, but it is AI at the end of the day. So I don't have an issue with that if you're using editing tools because, I used them when I was in college and they were acceptable. So I don't see why they wouldn't be acceptable for, editing a book. Using them to write your book, I don't think that that's acceptable. Um, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I've read a book that was written by AI. I don't know that I would even notice it, unless I don't know if I've ever even read a book that was written by AI. I would guess I would have to read one to know whether or not the author is just writing it using AI or not. Now, as far as visuals, at the heart of things, I don't think it's right to use it. However, I understand the structure the system has put in place for authors to gravitate towards using it. So I'm not necessarily mad at an author if they use AI in for visuals. I'm not. Um you're talking about book covers, right? Yeah, I'm not mad at them for using it because I understand the system that has been put in place. I've had this conversation with my book club members before, and when I think about it, my degree is in live sound. So I come from a musical background. And I mean, in the music industry, you've used a form of AI for a long time to correct notes and, to change people's pitches and all kinds of things like that. And we've never considered that to be a problem, But I do think that something is taken away when you allow a computer to generate your product. It really does. It takes away that humanity, I have a large respect for authors because especially coming from my musical background, I have a very big respect for anyone that is creating art because you're putting something of yourself out on the line for other people to view and judge and consume. So I have a respect for that. And I think if you're using AI to write your books, as in they're generating the whole entire thing. You're not really giving anything to us, and you're just regurgitating. You take the feeling and the hard sweat and the imagination out of it. So I don't really think it. I definitely don't think it's right to use it to write your book. To for editing, that kind of thing. I don't have an issue with that. And then for visual consumption, I don't. I understand why it's wrong. I understand why people are upset about it. However, I do think that the system has put authors in a place, especially independent authors, in a place where, that's how they're going to get their books out there. You put them in a place where doesn't it doesn't help them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to get someone, commission someone to do a book cover for you and it's $7,000 and you're this independent author, are you just saying that they shouldn't be able to write and put out a book because they can't afford to get that cover? That's crazy work to me. I mean, that kind of has happened with the music industry as well. That's how I always, equate it. Before, to get a drummer to come and sit in and set up drums and to do your album, it's very expensive. But you can always go and get a computer generated program that can do the same thing and sound the same. It might even take half the work out of it, and you would still get the same product. You know what I mean? You'll get kind of the same product. So I don't really get too much into that because, like I said, I understand how the system is set up for authors.
What do you want to see more of in books? And then we'll do a second part to that.
What would I like to see more of in books? I would like to see, definitely would like to see authors not conforming to trends and just writing what they want to write. I see a lot of authors, I've read a lot of books, and I feel a lot of them are, okay, we're all writing cowboys, so let's write cowboy. Now we're getting a book that really should have been like a street lit book, but now they got a cowboy hat on. I don't want to see that no more. I would like to see more of you just writing what you want to write. If you write street lit, write that. Take the chance and write that. I don't want to see, more. I want them to take out the trends in the books.
What do you want to see more of in the book community?
I want to see more people reading and stop complaining. I feel like there's a lot of complaints going on in the book community. And I'm like, well, what do you like? Tell us what you like about the book community. I feel like sometimes if a new person, if I was coming into the book community today and I walked into Threads or TikTok and I was like, oh no, close that door. I don't need to go in there. You know what I mean? I would like to see more people, have grace for authors. I would like to have authors have more, I would like them to have a little bit of a thicker skin with readers. I just think that I would just like to see more harmony amongst us.
I like that. What do you want to see less of in both the books, in the books and in the book community?
What I would like to see less of in the books is trying to force a shock value. Sometimes I find in some of the books, they put unnecessary things in there to force the shock value in the book. Just write the book. We don't need you to put more on it. There's way too much. Like, okay, for instance, okay, the man cheated on his wife. Okay, that's great. Okay, but we don't need the man to cheat on his wife with her mama and her sister and her auntie. Like simmer it down a little bit. We just need you just to write the book and not try to shock us. But sometimes I feel like when authors put those things into the books, it turns people off instead of turning them on to the book. But I also would like to see, and I guess what I don't like to see in books is, I mean, in the book community, is readers being too harsh on the authors. Just read the book. If you read the book and you ain't like something in the book, move on. I found out there's so many authors out here that want you to read their stuff. If you DNF this book, go on to the next one. You know, and if you don't like that book, go on to the next one. And if you don't like that book, go on to the next one. We don't have to sit here and drag people for 40 days and 40 nights because you don't like something in their book. You know, I would like to see that not happen anymore.
Okay, so let's play a little bit of a game. Let's put this down, and we're going to play a little this or that. Okay? All right. Contemporary romance or historical fiction?
Historical fiction.
Romantic comedy or romantic suspense?
Romantic comedy.
Enemies to lovers or arranged marriage?
Arranged marriage.
Erotic or dark romance?
That's a good one. Dark. I would say erotica.
Okay. Fantasy or paranormal?
Oh, paranormal.
Horror or suspense?
Horror.
Young adult or science fiction?
Young adult.
Secret baby or fake relationship?
Now everybody in here know what I'm about to say about that. Cause I hate secret baby. It will definitely be fake relationship for me.
Demons or folklore?
Now, girl, you also know the answer to that one. Folklore. We don't do no demons.
Biggest or shifters?
Shifters. They're more loyal.
The quest or magical artifacts?
The quest.
Let's see. Sorry, Shannon, I'm ruffling papers. Kidnapping or forced proximity?
Kidnapping.
Reading quietly or with music?
Quietly.
Thrillers or street lit?
Street lit.
Fake relation. Oh, I said that one. Poly BDSM or urban romance?
um. Polly.
Happy ending or unexpected plot twist?
Unexpected plot twist.
Revenge or happily ever after?
Revenge.
Vigas or shapeshifters?
Shifters.
Smoke or demon?
Smoke. Smoke.
Chevy or Capadonna?
Who?
Chevy.
Chevy?
Capadonna.
Chevy from Zoo Boys? Oh, Chevy, most definitely. Because I love me Capone. I like Capone. I can't have his I said I like Capone. I can't have his brother. Unless I'm Naomi. And I can have brothers. It'll definitely be Chevy. What did you say?
Bray or stuff your candle day?
Bray. All day long. I don't even look at a stuff your candle day no more.
Fake relationships or a second chance?
That's a good one. Fake relationship.
Arranged marriage or bully romance?
Arranged marriage.
Poly or BDSM?
Okay, now we're talking. Uh, Holly.
Let's see. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Print or audio?
Print.
Uh, Plot or character development?
That's a good question too. Um, I think I would like. It really depends on the book, but I would say on the genre of the book. But I would say plot. I would prefer plot.
Thrillers or mystery?
Thriller.
Series or standalone?
Mm, That's a really hard question because if you get a good standalone, you always gonna ask for another book. Um, I would say standalone though.
Dual point of view or a single point of view?
Duo. I need to be in at least two people's heads.
Physical books or Kindle?
Mm, Kindle.
Books or music?
Well, those two are one and the same, really. That's a hard one for me. If I had to choose, I guess it would be music.
Stay at home or go out?
Stay at home.
Summer or winter?
Mm, I would say winter.
Country living or city living?
City living. Unless, unless Samson makes that call. If Samson slides in my DMs. We going to the country.
Okay. Travel to a book event or have dinner with your favorite author?
Travel to a book event.
I like it. 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 All right. Are you a person that prefers to read ahead to see what's going to happen or a surprise ending?
Surprise ending.
Okay. I think that's it for that, this or that. Thank you so much for that.
Those were good questions.
If you could trade places with a character, who would it be?
hmm. Um, I think you already know. I already said it would be Tally from Product of the Streets.
Okay, okay. What book that you've read you wish more people would read?
Um, there's this book that Cami came out with. I really enjoyed this book. It was a she had came Cami had came on and was like, I wish more people would read this book. And I was like, bet. So I read it all in one sitting then that night, and it was called I always forget the name of that book. It's Scars. It's one of the Scars book, but Show Me Your Scars. That's what it's called. Show Me Your Scars by Cami. I really enjoyed that one. It was like a surprise. I didn't expect that story at all. So I wish people would read that book more.
What three books would you recommend to a new reader?
Um, if I would tell them to read Mutual Obsession by Cherise C. Carr. I would tell them to read I would tell them to read Alexa Play by Jatoria C. And I would tell them to read When a Gangster Wants You by Jane Jones.
First of all, yes. All three of those books. Yes to all three of those books. Um, let me ask you this question, and this is one of my favorite questions. What does what is the great American novel mean to you? What elements are you looking for in the great American novel, and what examples fit the criteria for a great American novel? Like what books?
Well, I mean, I've seen this question answered, quite a few times because I've watched and I've actually been a part of it. I don't know if I've ever answered this question before, but I would have to say that it's whatever story that is displaying, American life, even if it's fictional. However, I think some good elements in a great American novel are books that have a memorable plot, great character development, and is able to touch a group of people culturally, emotionally, spiritually, in any type of way. A book that's become like a movement across America. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be like the great classics that they have told us are classic. It could be any book, but I think that if it has touched people and moved large groups of people in some type of way, I would say that that would be considered a great American novel. If I had to, pick examples, I would say the Delgado series is one because I have watched, just like you have watched, hordes of women line up for those books. They're talking about it. They love it. They all have an emotional connection to it. They love those books, down, and it's large groups of women, and culturally it is also, significant to us. I would say another book that would be a great American novel is
I would say Ethic and Butterfly series because them people be losing their mind over
Yeah,
there.
that's another good one. I haven't read that series yet. That's on my goals for this year. I'm not going to leave this year without reading Moth to the Flame and Ethic and Butterfly and all of them. That's another good series. But I would say anything that is able to get people to come together, and I could be standing in line and I'd be like, "Oh, you read that book? Oh, I love that book," and we all just get to talking about it. To me, that's a great American novel.
I love the fact that I like to include African American authors, Black authors over the diaspora into the conversation because oftentimes they're forgotten, especially if they write urban fiction or uh, um, multicultural interracial relationships. I love that. Um, I love the care when a Black author puts care into how the characters are depicted if it's multicultural or interracial. I love the care in which the author takes when they're depicting the love between two characters, if it's a love story. Um, because I think it's important to show that in this great American novel, the ups, the downs, the this or that. I feel like one of the great American novels that I feel like is trending for me is Parachutes, because it took you from meeting to the things that happened to get her, for her to get him, her thought process, his thought process, and it was very intricate, and the ups and downs of their relationships. And even when, and I'm not trying to spoil the story for people, but even when they broke up and got divorced, it was traumatic. I found myself rooting for him because even though he fucked up, excuse my language, he did.
Mhm.
I found myself rooting for him because I felt like he loved her so.
Yeah, it was definitely emotional. I would say that's a good explanation of it as well. I think there's a lot of themes and a lot of things that happen in that story that people can identify with. There was grief in that story, there was loss in that story. There was a lot of stuff going on. There was family dynamics in that story. I agree with you. I think a lot of people who have read that book, not all of them, but I feel like a lot of people who read that story can connect to it in some type of way. I agree. Definitely took you through all the feels.
Baby, listen, and I didn't want to read it because I was like, no, you guys not getting ready to rope me into this emotional roller coaster. But the roller coaster I went on, and I'm not mad that I didn't read it. I'm
Yeah.
so happy that I read it.
Yeah. That's so good of you.
My favorite questions.
Oh no.
If you can invite 5 authors to dinner, authors or writers,
Okay.
dead or alive, who would they be?
Okay. Definitely inviting Sharice C. Carr,
Cause she gonna
Dandridge,
cook.
Dandridge Monroe. Um, you said readers are authors.
No, writers,
Oh,
writers.
right. Okay, okay. I was like, because if you said readers, I'm like, well, I'm buying my book club. um, let's see. So I would say Sharice C. Carr, Dandridge Monroe. Uh, who else would be good at dinner? Monica Walters would come to dinner with us. Um, definitely would invite E. Bowser. And of course I got invite. Well, I need one more seat. Can I have one more seat? Just one more. Okay.
You
Then
only gave 4, so you have one more seat. You have 5.
no, I need one more than that.
Okay,
I
okay.
need okay.
I'll give
Okay.
you an honorary seat. Go ahead.
Okay. I also am gonna invite Storm and Nicole because those are writers, authors. These are my authorist friends. So yes, and I know all of y'all. I know y'all enough to say that we would have a grand time at dinner.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. Um,
Especially
if
because the Reese can throw down.
listen, listen. You bring, for those that eat pork. I'll bring the fried ribs. You bring the macaroni and cheese. I promise. My ribs are good. My ribs are good. I'm hollering. Um, if you can induct 3 authors into
Mhm.
the Author Hall of Fame, dead or alive, who would they be?
Dead or alive? The Author Hall of Fame. I would say, you know what? I'm just gonna pick 3 from my biggest like genre. So I would say for the Author Hall of Fame, I would choose it's so hard. um I would choose I would choose good grief. Uh dang, that is harder than I thought. Let's see. I'm just gonna throw out three names. I would choose Siobhan Latrice. I would choose, you know what? I'm gonna put Bonnie Blanco in there. No misses for me. And then I would put E. Bowser because she writes she did a really good job with the urban fiction and paranormal for me.
Yep. Yep. I agree with all of that. All of that. And that don't take away from anybody else because if you
No.
know, she added different authors on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely.
so
I
she had
mean,
another opportunity to add more authors. Um, I didn't ask this question. I should have asked this. Do you listen to audiobooks?
I do, but it's not my favorite. I like to have my imagination of what I think the person sounds like. And if the person does not sound in that book the way it completely ruins the book for me. Like I won't even read the book. But no, I'm not big. I do listen to them sometimes, especially if it's like a book club read. And that might be the only way I can get the book is through audio, but I'm not big on audiobooks.
Okay. Um, what hate to see you coming? Anything at all?
What hate to see me coming?
Mm-hmm.
Winter from winter from coldest winter ever. She like, why is this heifer talking about me again? She hates me.
I'm dead. I'm hollering. Okay. And I think that's all my questions for today, Derelle. I
That's
think you
it.
answered all my questions, all the questions that I specifically wanted to talk to you about. Um, what advice would you give? Oh, I do have one more question.
Mhm.
Do you consider yourself a book influencer?
I do. I do consider myself a book influencer, even though I'm not necessarily trying to be a book influencer. I more or less like to be a part of the community, to have community, I would say, but I will say that I do consider myself a book influencer when, you go to a book event and somebody say, "Hey, I follow you. I love your content." I was at a book event the other day and someone said that to me and I was just like, "What?" I was like, "My content? Really?" I feel like I'm lacking in content because I'm not trying to be a book influencer, but I think that, I do influence people because, my book club is on almost every day and we're here talking about different things and there's sometimes that the girls will be like, "Oh yeah, I get what you're saying," as far as books, and we share books and so yeah, I definitely do think that I consider myself an influencer. I'm starting to take that as a more of a understanding the responsibility of that. When it comes to that, how I am perceived and how I present myself. Sometimes there's just a responsibility with that. I would say for sure.
I'm trying to get rid of the interference. I'm putting myself on mute. Um, do you feel like you're a reader first, or an influencer first, or a content creator first?
Always a reader first because I will turn this phone off real quick to read a book. I want to, that all I want to do is sit back and read. But once I'm done reading about it, I want to talk about it. You know, I want to talk about it with the community and see what the community is saying about it. The other thing is with content creation. That's probably one of the things I probably lack the most in because I like to be in the moment. I go to a lot of book events, and every time I'm there, I'm like, "Did you get that picture?" Because I'm not the one that wants to be getting content the whole time because I want the experience. I want to be in the moment of the experience of it. So I would definitely say I'm a reader first and then an influencer because I'm definitely going to talk to you about the things that I experience, especially in the book community. Especially if we went to a book event, I'm going to talk you into it. I'm going to talk you into buying books all day long. But the content is probably what I like the most, and so I consider myself a reader.
Why are book events important for you as a reader?
As a reader, because I like to physically, I love the experience of going to the bookstore or going to the library. That experience, would love on a Sunday afternoon to just go to the bookstore and be able to pick up the books that I enjoy, but I can't because they're not available to me. So going to a book event, to me, I can go and get whatever I want and get all of the books that I want to read in one space. So they're very important to me. I don't think now that I've gotten the book, I don't think there's a year that could go by that I can't go.
Do you feel like, I mean, I know obviously all of us would like to be able to go to a bookstore and purchase books from our favorite authors and, and some of the, bookstores that we have, but I know that some of them have contractual agreements said with particular publishers or not or whoever. But the experience of meeting an author for me is so that one can know, they can see my expression when I'm talking about their books. I know they can see it on the videos and stuff like that. And some of it is not me. I'm a mess anyway. But some of it can be performative. But if you can tell when when a reader really enjoys something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it may take that one picture, it may take that one hug, if that's what it is, for a reader to say, you know what? I'm reading everything. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I love when I can put my hand on an author and she's like, hey, girl, I see you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love that.
Yeah.
What is that experience like for you when you go and you meet an author and they're, one of your faves?
It's a lasting impression. It really connects you to the stories and the books when you meet an author that you admire their work. When I go to a booking bed, I'm not expecting the author to, have any more of a connection other than the author reader experience. But I want them to know that I love their work. I want them to feel seen. They're obviously having a line, but I don't know you, but I know you through your work. And some of the authors that I have met, some of the authors that I met, when I go up to them and I'm talking to them about their books, you can see their face just start to light up. The last book event I went to was Love in the Carolinas. And there was an author there, and she was just kind of sitting there, and her husband was selling her books. Okay, he was selling her books, but she was kind of just sitting there. And I went up to her and I started talking to her about one of her books, and we just got into this whole conversation. And it was just like, I won't forget her, and I don't think she's gonna forget me. And I want to continue to support her and her work. I feel like there's a freedom in being able to express yourself that way. And when people genuinely like love your work, it is just a satisfying feeling. It doesn't matter necessarily how many books that you sell, because if that one reader came and bought your whole catalog because they've been reading all of your books, to them, it feels like, that is Christmas morning for them. That's the whole reason why they put pen to paper. And at a book event, it allows you to get up and close in person and put a face with it, especially when we're on the internet, we're chatting with the authors that we like on Facebook or on, but once you have a face with it, it's different. It's a whole different ball game.
I love that. I think book events, other than meeting the authors and what Derelle said, is so important because we don't have the opportunity elsewhere, outside of the internet. But authors, Derelle and I had an unfortunate experience. Um, and it turned us both off. And when you are disingenuous or you think you're being funny, because somebody doesn't have to spend their hard-earned money with you. They don't have to ever read you again. They can always say, hey, I'm never reading that author, and that would turn other people off because they respect her recommendations and her opinions with regards to books. So just know that when you're at these book events, you can't be like, I'm not taking pictures, or you can't be funky. You can't be sniggering. You know what I'm saying? And that happened with us. We were there. We saw it.
Yeah.
It didn't happen to me. And I think it didn't happen to me because I had this platform at the time. But it happened to her, and them not knowing that we are friends.
Yeah.
Not just I'm friendly. This is my friend.
Yeah.
So be careful. Just my piece of advice when you're out in these book streets and you're meeting authors. Because, meeting readers.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling that event, you shouldn't do them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. And what I would say as a reader going to book events, what I have learned over the year was to one, go with the expectation that just because you're excited doesn't mean that the other person's excited. We as readers, we're like, oh my gosh, I get to meet this person and I'm so excited to meet this person. But the other person may not feel quite the same as you do. And I already, I don't consider them celebrities, but even with celebrities, I don't attach that to them, but I never would expect, that people have a lot of hangups socially, a lot of things that prevent them from interacting socially the same way that I do. A lot of them are introvert. They're not very good. And a lot of people, not just the authors, but readers as well, they don't know how to interact socially, or they're not very good at it, or they're introvert. That's just who they are. I met an author that was very introverted. She was sitting next to me. I thought she was just a reader. And I just happened to say, oh, are you an author or reader? She's like, oh, I'm an author. And I was like, well, why aren't you hanging out with the rest of the authors? No one say, hey, come over here and hang out with us, but I felt like, you're an author in this space. You should be enjoying this socially as well. Maybe I'll just, talk to you or, whatnot. And even though, I had never read any of her books before, in the conversation that I had with her, I bought a book from her the next day, so I think as readers, we go into the situation, we're so excited to meet the authors, but we also have to remember that, just because they're writers and we feel like we connected to them, because we read their books, doesn't mean that we truly know who they are as people. And we have to kind of, gather those social cues, because there was an author that I love so much. I met her and she was very standoffish. And over the year, I have come to find out she's just not great in social settings like that. It's not that she was not appreciative of me buying her books. It wasn't that she didn't want to connect with me or any of that. She just you can't take that personally. It just is what it is. So we just have to sometimes, with me, I had to change my mindset and my perception, and just kind of see how it kind of goes. But you're right. If you don't want to be there, you're just gonna have to eat that because you know you don't want to come off as rude to your or say rude and disrespectful things to the readers. Yeah. I can't hear you anymore.
And readers, likewise.
And likewise, you have to be respectful. You know, these are people, you know, both ways. These are people, you know, you can't be going up to them talking kind of crazy or disrespectful. They're not your best friend. They're not your sisters and your brother. You don't really know them. So you need to be respectful towards them. You know, they're there to do a job, you know. They're there to do a job.
So with that being said, I wanted to find out what book club are you a part of? Let's talk about that real quick.
Well, I am a part of Books We Love to Discuss. This past Tuesday on the 27th of January, we just experienced our second year anniversary. We have weekly sprints on Mondays and Tuesdays. We do Monday, we have a Messy Monday where we read a messy book. On Tuesday, we have Tasty Tuesday where we'll probably read something more contemporary or erotica or, you know, might read some paranormal, but those are the type of books. And then on Saturdays we have a book of the week. We choose a book every week, and most of the time we'll have an author come on and they'll kind of get our questions about that book. And we have like a really nice book discussion. You know, we're very passionate about our books and our discussions, which is what I love about our book club because we learn so much from each other. We're of various ages, but all of our books that we read are Black authors. Some of us do read on the other side. You know, I'm mainly a Black author reader, but some of the other girls do read from the other side. But our book club is catered to Black writers, Black authors. That's what we read. And we read everything. We read, you know, sci-fi, you know, urban lit, you know, romance, contemporary, fantasy. We will read anything and everything, independent, traditionally published, you know, we read it all, and anyone is invited to be a part of our book club. We have a app that we work off. It's called BFF, and you know, it's in my bio. I believe it's in Nicole's bio as well. Anyone it's free. We do not charge to be a part of our book club. Anyone who wants to sprint with us on Mondays and Tuesdays, they're more than welcome to. On Sundays and Thursdays, we do a productivity sprint where we, you know, read whatever, you know, for a certain amount of time. But it's a very lit book club. We have a good time over there. And then we also meet up at book events. We're going to all multiple book club book events all year long. Where you will see us next. We'll be one of the hosts of the Boozy Book Tour Melanin Tour in Vegas. Our whole book club will be there. We will have a table. We will be doing a giveaway. Two giveaways actually. We'll be giving away two gift baskets. One that will have Storm and A.A. Lewis's book in it, and another one that will have, I believe, Jatoria C. and I can't think of the other two books that will be in there, but we will be having a giveaway then. But come hang out with us. We have a good time.
One of the things that I love about this book club is that we don't always agree. No, we don't always agree. But the disagreements are always respectful.
Yeah.
We always say it's never like I'm never talking to her again because she didn't agree with me. And it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay that you don't always agree. All the girls don't like the same books. What I might deem as a 5-star book, somebody else was like, girl, I DNF that shit.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's never any judgment. That's what I love about this book club, and I'm proud to say I'm a member too.
Yes, founding member. What do you mean? She's a founding member.
So
But I agree with you on that. We get into some very passionate. If you ever come into our book club and we're in there going back and forth, there is all love there. I promise you, 45 minutes after we've gotten our points across, we are talking about, so what are you reading now? And we can be going back and forth for, on a point. But the thing is that we learn from each other. A conversation, a discussion on a book isn't fun if everybody agrees with everything. We're not going to, because we all come from different backgrounds. We're all different ages. There's girls in the group that are as young as my sister, and then there's people that are older than me in the group, and our experiences is what helps define our perspectives that we have. And I like the fact that we all don't agree. I learn from you guys. There are times where I'd be so heated on a point, and it'll be days later and I'll be thinking about that. I'm like, you know what, maybe she was right. Maybe she was right about that. You know what? Maybe I can see from her point of view what she's saying. Yeah, she was right about that. But it's all love there. Nobody has a problem with each other about our points of views on books. If you like the book and I didn't, we're still cool. you know.
I love that. And where are you going to be in 2026? What book events have you signed up for?
Oh, girl. So I'm doing the Melanin ball in Vegas. That's my next one. After that, I'm going to Chocolate City Lit in DC, Black Romance Fest in Atlanta, the Imaginarium Book Festival back in DC, and then Southern Heart. Oh, I'm sorry. And One Love in New Orleans at the end of July. And then I will be at Southern Hearts in October.
I love that. I love that.
Full plate.
And how can the people find you, ma'am?
Well, I am on Instagram, Facebook, my TikTok account, and I do have a Blue Sky account as well, but I don't hang out that much on there. I am no longer on Threads. I can't do Threads. I can't do it. I mean, it's the wild, wild west over there, and I just can't do it. My nerves. I ain't got nothing. I've only had trouble over on Threads. I get too spicy on Threads. I got rid of Threads. But yes, definitely. And also the book club at BFF. You can also find me on there as well. Slide in my DMs. I'm cool with it.
I love that. I love that. Um, y'all, the Boozy Book Tour is coming up. This is one of our book Melanin Queens that will be there. I will be podcasting live, so you'll see Derelle there. We'll be hanging out. Super excited about that. So that is February 27th through March 1st. I hope to see you guys there. I just ordered my pajamas. I got my moo-moos ready. Okay.
I got my moo. I got me some really cute pajamas off the TikTok shop that has Beyonce all over them. I can't wait to wear those. And then I got my moo from the TikTok shop, so I'm ready. I'm ready.
So then after that, I'm hosting the Cali Author Takeover. We're going to have a good time. A time is getting ready to be had at game night. So that is April 24th and 25th. And I think that's the Friday and Saturday that weekend. Yeah. So I will be not podcasting. I'll be hosting live for that. Storm will be your podcaster for that event. A time is going to be had. I promise you, a time is going to be had. If you're looking for more information for Boozy Book Tour, you can go to boozybooktour.com or contact Shannon and Storm for tickets. And you might want to do it now. If you're looking for more information for the Cali Author Takeover, you please contact author Shelly P. Please, because it's going down. I will be at BRBF as an assistant to Shannon and Storm. So whatever it is that they gonna have my old ass doing, I guess I'm doing it.
So we will meet again.
Listen, we shall meet again. And then I will be at the Dungeon Night for the Boozy Book Tour in June in Denver, Colorado. That is June 19th and 20th, I think. So I'll be podcasting live there. And I think that's all the events that I'm going to. But I'm super excited to be able to see everybody. I'm super excited to meet in person all my book club members except for one, maybe two. A time is gonna be had. A time is gonna be had. But yes, so that's what's going on with me. You guys can catch me on all my social sites. This video will be on YouTube at some point in its entirety. So my YouTube channel is under Booked and Busy, all one word, like it's right here. There you go, right there. And then also I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Substack, here on TikTok, and probably some more places. I just can't remember what they are. My website is bookedandbizzie.com. All one word. So y'all make sure y'all go check me out over there. Join the mailing list because I have some things that's going to be coming up very soon that I'm working on. And other than that, I just want to say thank you so much, Derelle.
Thank you for having me. You be giving me stuff to think about because I didn't think I was gonna get these questions. I gotta rethink about all these questions.
I told you I had some new questions, girl. I was stealing questions last night, left and right. I didn't care. I said, "Oh, that's a good question." I wrote it down, and I ain't ashamed to tell you that I got them. Where I got them from?
I need to ask the girls. I would like to see what some of the girls have to say with these questions. You're gonna have them on though too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they can hopefully they were paying attention. They will prepare.
Yes, I think Charmy is next, and then I have to book Jazz, and then I'm gonna book Candace. But they will all be on this season before May if it works out. But thank you so much. I appreciate speaking with you online in front of everybody. You can see we kiki all the time, and I'm sure this will not be the last time you will see us online again more. So, thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate it. Make sure that you're following Derelle on all her platforms. If you're not following her, she does give good book recommendations. I know I get a lot of recommendations from Derelle. I know that if it's something real good, she'll send me a text message to me privately and be like, read this.
Read this.
But Derelle, read shit damn motherfucker. Like
I'm reading it tomorrow. But I want just so you know, this is why I'm gonna be in your DMs tomorrow.
Yes, because Mace. Listen, you talking about you want to smash. Mace had that lady trembling.
I already knew when I saw the book. I said, "Oh, this is gonna be a time."
Normally, we be soon as Body Blanco drops, she be like, "You got that book? Got it.
And now that Bonnie Blanco done finished her series, now I gotta go and binge it. I gotta take time off. Yeah, I haven't read what is it, $1 Million or
Missionary with a Menace.
With a Menace. I haven't read it yet because I feel like once I read it, then I ain't gonna have no more books to read. Because I done read all her books now.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm just holding on. But now that it's done, I gotta go and read it.
I'm just saying. It's a good read. It's a good time.
Oh, I know it is.
I'm going to head up out of here. I have to go to work in 20 minutes.
Bye, y'all. Bye, everyone. Thank you again, Nicole.
Thank you, love. I'll see you in February, but I'm sure I'll be talking to you sooner than that.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Happy reading.